Okie dokie. I'm going to point it down that direction. So we'll have that something recorded anyway. Yeah. Okie dokie. Well, I can see some people. And the flag, so we're all set there. Okay, I'm ready when you are.
Oh, is it 6 o'clock? You sound like a normal man.
Yeah.
I'll call this meeting to order. Pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Lions prayer. We
Stand to offer thanks and praise to the giver of all good, and may he fill our hearts with the spirit of brotherhood. Amen.
It's always good to see everybody. I don't think we've had any guests this evening.
Nope, I don't think so.
So we'll head on to Secretary's report. We got a lot to discuss tonight.
On the back of your agenda is the Secretary's report. It was also emailed out to you, I think, on Monday.
Oh, the red man got it off the computer. Of course, the district meeting's going on now.
Right.
What happens if we're on there?
I'm going to have a hard time hearing you with the background over here and everything, so I'm trying.
I'll try and yell.
Do they?
Is that better?
Yeah. Are you trying to get a motion to accept the minutes?
I
Yep.
think so.
I so moved.
It's been moved and seconded that we accept the minutes as presented. Any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Treasurer's report.
Oh, one other item on the Secretary's report is that
Oh, sorry.
I did a presentation to the Good Morning Mason, which was on Zoom. And if you want to see it, they have a video posted there. And you can take a look at it. And our little 2-minute part is 26 minutes and 40 seconds into it, in case you want to find it.
Hey, we're
But
there.
mostly I just talked about barbecue sauce. So.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
Okay. Treasurer's report, Ken.
Administrative, $6,637, gaining 2,048, donation 4951.
Any questions? Motion?
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. We accept the treasurer's report. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Okay, on to old business. Update, barbecue fundraiser.
We're on track to make our $1,000 plus, probably. I'm going to have to, we're running out of yellow, so I'm going to have to make one more trip up there. Originally I picked up 4 cases, which was 3 red and 1 yellow. And then I picked up the same thing again last week. And then at the beginning of this week, I picked up 8 cases, which was 2 yellow and 6 of the red cases. And they decided to give us a discount by giving us 1 case for free in that.
All right.
So then it looks like I'm going to have to make one more trip up there because we're almost out of yellow, I think. I think I've got some left. I think I've got some left of the yellow in my other car for the show, but I'll have to analyze this because it's going pretty fast. So I will go ahead and make sure I've got enough for the show. But we should be, with the donations we're getting, we've got several donations as well. We'll be well over $1,000, probably closer to $1,200, maybe $1,300 at least. And that's if we sell all the sauce, which I think we will at the show. And I do need to make sure that I've got everybody set up for their booth shift for the show. I think Rich is going to help in the morning, right?
Yeah, and then I'll come in from noon on to the end, so I can
Okay.
load out. So I'll be there, what time, 7?
7
8?
o'clock.
7 o'clock?
Be there,
I'll be there
yeah.
at 7.
Okay.
So what time do you need shifts?
Well, I think I've got another couple people spoken for. Ken and Jeff we're gonna. I mean, excuse me, Jeff and Karen were gonna come.
I'll be there the whole time, because I'm selling raffle tickets.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna help set up at 7.
Set up at 7. Okay. Okay, Jeff will set up at 7 with Rich, and Lorraine will be here a lot too. Okay. I think that's because it's just a one booth type of thing. I think that's all we need. If you come out to the show and you see that we need some help, I'd stop by. But
So what do we want on the way of tables? So I've got a 4-foot and a 6-foot folder.
probably both.
Both? Okay.
Yeah. I would think that would be helpful anyway.
Yep, got it.
Need any more than?
No, I think we got the tables, and normally bring your own chair and
Yeah, we've got that. I've got the 10-foot pop-up.
right,
easy up.
right. Okay, and I got some jugs to weight it down too. So
Okay, good.
because it's on pavement.
Yep,
We're going to be right next to the building on the entrance.
okay.
And I have-
Dickinson's building, I
Yeah.
seen that on the map.
I have maps for people who are coming out for sure. Let me pass those out.
This is next to the building. There's a lot of buildings over there.
Yeah, next to the. We go past the entrance next to the exhibit building, I guess. But those are the maps. So if you're coming out, make sure you get one. Lorraine, you can get one if you want to.
So, which number is our, oh, there it is, number 10.
We're number
Hold
10,
on.
yeah.
Perfect.
And the rest of you can find us pretty quick because we're right inside the door. And I think we're all set there. Yeah.
Why can't we go past May 2nd?
Why can't we? Because then we could be selling this stuff forever. But here's the idea. Whatever on May 2nd, we're going to analyze to see what more we need, because we can sign people up to buy this stuff and pick it up on my porch at the show. Okay? Because we're going to run out of sauce, I think, and we're going to have to sign them up to pick it up on my porch at the show. And there's nothing saying that we can't do that afterward either. Okay?
It also states that in the wonderful articles that were in the county news.
But I don't because when we give out the scholarships in the middle of May, I don't want it to go beyond that though,
Yep.
because that's what we're doing the fundraiser for.
Okay.
So yeah, if you want to sell through the next week, that's not a problem.
After that, can't we just change our advertising? We're raising the money for whatever else? And then start a fundraiser selling barbecue sauce for XYZ?
I'd like to keep it separate a little bit.
Yeah, personally, I can sell it past the due date,
Yeah,
telling them what the deal is.
yeah, you could do that, but I think we need to kind of cut it off middle of May if we can. Okay. Because otherwise,
We're gonna need a break in the people.
and I don't need to have that on my porch all that time. So.
Yep.
No, that's true.
But if you're going to be selling more and you need more of the forms, I've got them right here in the basket. So make sure you pick some of those up. Yeah, there they are.
Okay. Anything else
Let's see what else.
on the barbecue?
No, we got the shifts. We're going to be there from 9 to 3. I guess that's it.
Okay.
Thank you, Doug,
Yes, thank you
for
all
doing
the-
this.
I'm glad it's working out. I really am. They are very happy with us, by the way. Just I'd let you know.
I'm sure they
They
are.
are very happy.
So, to throw in, the scholarship night, honors night, is set for Wednesday, May 19th.
Okay, so,
And they're currently planning for it in the auditorium.
all right.
May 19th.
So, subject to change, but, so, I told Marcy that we are gonna have 2 scholarships and we'll give them the amounts in early May.
Yeah, I think that we're probably, just my own opinion, since we've got some money in the donation account, I think we're okay to do our thousand.
We need to vote on it, but I
But we
agree.
need to vote on it, and we probably need to vote on it now, don't we?
Was that gonna be under new business or?
I think that we could do that under new business, yeah.
Yep, well, we've got a 2021 budget here, so somewhere in there, yep.
All right.
That's what I got left to finish. Okay, ramp update. Who wants to do that?
I can. Ken and I, Ken Carlson, went over there and
I
scoped
have
it
some
all out.
copies too.
Worked up a
that.
sketch.
I have a few
Come up
copies,
with some materials,
just a few.
and
Well,
it's,
not for everybody.
I'm estimating about $1,500 worth of materials. The other option is to buy a prefabricated unit, and that's like $4,500. So, obviously building it from scratch is gonna take more time. And probably, I'm guessing, if we tried to pre-build some of the parts, say in my barn, a couple of days of doing that, and a day or day and a half at the home to actually put it in place. So we need volunteers in addition to the money.
What about permits?
I'm sorry?
What about permits?
I'm sorry?
Just saying.
I assumed that you would give me permission to do it, sir.
I don't think my weight carries nothing.
Here's the deal. If you go through the permitting process instead of $1,500, I'm guessing, I don't know, $1,000 more for foundations, is everything would have to be, as near as I can tell, for the Mason building code, for decks, means foundations below cross line.
I know most of them.
Not a deck, it's gonna be a removable ramp, isn't it?
I didn't see a classification for removable ramps or temporary ramps.
Excuse me, have you heard from Chris? Because he was going to try and get material.
I haven't heard from him.
Have you, Stan?
No, it's a dicey thing.
I rattled his cage a couple times, no response.
No, it's a dicey thing. Would there be a problem with liability if we build it and we didn't go through the permitting process?
There's probably, I'm guessing there's more of a liability if we go through the process with the permit. Because then it's kind of public. Yeah, I mean, there's always a risk. I mean, the club's got to decide which risk you want to take.
Stan?
Jeff and I have discussed this to length. And I'm sorry, Jeff, I couldn't hear everything you said, but we do have a issue. Did you mention the hospice coming in?
No, okay, it's an elderly couple that lives in this house. I talked with the lady, very sweet person.
Yep.
It was a joy to talk to her. But she did mention that her husband is now in hospice care.
Oh,
So the duration that they would need the ramp might be pretty short, might be pretty long. Don't know.
that means he's not going anywhere. He's in hospice care. They're coming to the house, right?
Yeah.
That's the way it was with my mother. They were very strict on that. They couldn't, the doctor had to come to the house, everything like that.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't be taking him out in a wheelchair, would they?
I doubt it.
No,
Depends on how far he is.
Oh,
Think we should,
project has a lot of questions.
Under hospice, I don't think you should mess with it.
I don't know this couple.
I don't think it's worth the risk.
Well, I didn't know them till
Ken and B.
I
Smith.
talked to their neighbor, drinks coffee, the lady their next door neighbor lady, we've had coffee with her and before, and it's sad, the condition he's in at this time, and her trying to get him out, but with hospice there, it's not pretty. But Jeff, did you tell him about having to move the car cover for it? And
It's marked on here, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of work, in addition to actually building the ramp, there's a canvas carport that's in the way of the ramp, and that would have to be moved back 8-10 feet or so. The concrete drive runs back beside the house and ends right where this carport starts. They put a little bit of gravel in that carport area, so if we moved it back, I would think they would want more gravel. I'm not saying we offer to do that, but in addition, the deck that's currently on the back of the house is fairly good size. It's 2 levels. The upper level is virtually flush with the door. 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch drop.
Where's the front door on this house?
It won't work. Front door won't work for a couple of reasons.
Front door, side door, neither one of them.
What'd you say, Ken?
Neither door, neither the front door or the side door work. Ramp's gotta be so long that you never make it.
and let me interject. Just what Ken said, how long the ramp is gonna be and the different platforms you have to build to put the ramp, because they can only be so long at once and like that. I don't know how this poor lady, without getting help from someone, would ever be. She could get him down the ramp and hope to God that it doesn't drag her down the ramp with him. But bringing him back up, she would have to have, if she could take him outside, she'd have to get help to bring him up that ramp. I don't know how she could do it, you know?
Okay, I have a question. How much were you planning on, just in materials?
About $1,400-$1,500.
Yeah, that's
And
what,
that's putting it on top of the ground, not sinking foundations.
Right. But what I'm thinking, if all this other stuff is so questionable, why don't we try to give them a check for $1,000? And hopefully they can take care of a lot of the things that you're talking about themselves, as far as getting help to help him in and out.
I can check with the next door neighbor, but I don't think the help of those resources, I don't think they have that. The help I don't think that help is available.
so one of the things I'm hearing is that the need is kind of marginal as to whether it's really going to be there for a period of time that makes a structure valuable.
Yeah.
And it might make, you know, if we were looking at a case where it would be in use for a year, 2 years, then that would make sense, but I don't know.
Can you rent ramps?
Can you what?
Rent a ramp.
I've never heard of that.
Oh,
Rent one? I don't know.
they've,
Liability wise, I don't think you'd ever see anybody renting one.
it isn't an election year. No,
I don't know what that means.
that's, when that was started, I've been involved trying to get help from them before on different ramps,
For renting one?
reps for ramps.
No, I'm
Oh.
talking about renting a ramp.
Oh,
Are
renting,
there
I thought
places
you said reps for
No,
ramps,
no,
because,
is there a place you can actually rent a ramp?
Oh, I
Instead
don't
of
know-
buying it,
I
so you
don't
can
know.
rent it for a period
I
of
never,
time?
Never looked
know.
at that. I'm sorry, Cindy, I thought
No,
you said
no.
the reps for ramps, that they were,
Well, it occurred to me that we weren't talking about the same thing.
thank you.
You think we should wait on it to see what happens since he's in hospice? Look in to see if there's a place that rents ramps for a short time? I don't know. I know I have a fellow governor up in, where's it at? Over here, their club builds them all the time. The ramps, but they're big.
Well, there's
And there's no obstruction like there is at this house.
David told me about Tuesday Toolmen, and I've left them 2 messages. They build ramps for the needy. I've left them 2 different messages to get with me, and they return no calls.
Oh, that's okay. The trick to that is keep pestering them. Pretty soon they'll get tired of you. They'll call you.
But
That's how you get a job too.
a lot of people have stopped doing projects like that because of the COVID also. So,
Well, they could at least call you and cut that.
I don't know. I'm sorry, Rich.
So what is the suggestion of the group?
I mean, if he's in hospice, what do they figure hospice is for what, 3 months? Is that kind of what I remember?
They'll stay for up to 6 months.
Okay,
Up to, but it could happen
yeah,
tomorrow,
right.
you know.
And I've known people go into hospice and then come back out and be out for another couple of years. So
Right.
it's-
Yeah, sometimes if they're bad enough, they take them right to a hospice
Yeah.
house.
Mhm.
You said there's a deck that we can get on? There's a fairly good sized deck right outside the back door. And then there's, I forget what, 2 steps down to the lower deck, I believe.
Yes.
And the lower deck has a gas grill on it. And then off the lower deck, it's another, I think, 3 steps down to the ground.
That's he's not gonna be able to do.
No, no.
Certainly not gonna get past the first step.
When you
The
guys,
ramp would start at the upper deck.
when you guys went over, did you talk to the lady at all?
I did, yeah.
And what did she say? She had no idea how long hospice would be there, if they take them.
Well, I didn't start getting into those kinds of questions with her. She mentioned he was in hospice. I didn't think it was my place to start questioning her
Yeah.
on
Well,
his medical
when she said he
details.
was in hospice, to me, that tells me they're either coming or they've moved him somewhere to put him in a home in hospice care.
No, I mean, she did say she wants to keep him at home. That's why hospice is coming in.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
She does not want him in a facility somewhere. Yeah.
Well, what's your pleasure, guys? What are we gonna do? Don't all speak at once.
I'm in favor of doing more investigation, I guess.
And what are we looking for in the investigation?
Well, first of all, I guess would be some direction. Lorraine says she knows a club that does ramps all the time. That would be helpful to talk
I
to
could
them.
call them.
Find out whether or not they rent
I
them,
could call
rent
Killer.
ramps. That would be a good thing to find
That's
out.
his nickname.
Didn't, like 20, 30 years ago, didn't we have some ramps that, we were temporary, we put out, they lived in somebody's barn, and when they weren't needed, they go back in the barn?
I think Terry Bovell had them at one time.
Yeah, I don't know if they were maybe at Hawkins or something like that at one point. but-
Those,
But that was a pretty simple ramp, if I remember.
Yes.
right. Very simple.
Yeah, no code,
the materials that I knew of, we put into, we joined with the VFW. Well, let me back up. We used most of it on Mrs. Hart's at Kippen and Jefferson Street. And then when she sold that and they were gonna tear the house down, somebody stored it for us, and then we teamed up with the VFW. There was a veteran that needed one, and it was a big project, just like this one. it had to have 2 different ramps on it, so we teamed up with them and used that material on that ramp. I know that gentleman, that veteran passed away a while back. Where that material is at this time, well, I should say it might still be in that house because his wife was having health issues and they were staying, that ramp was built in the daughter's house because the daughter was taking care of them both at that time. Yep.
So back to Doug's question on information we're looking for. I think I kind of set us down a rabbit hole.
Well, I would wonder continuing, if you can continue to check with that organization you were looking into?
If they'll return a call, that's the thing. And they're gonna, I'm afraid they're gonna run into the same predicament that we're running into in regards to hospice. Now, I'm just saying that because of that, you know. If there was a ramp available to rent, would the Lions Club, is the Lions Club going to be willing to help pay for part of the ramp? I don't know. I'd like to ask Ken a question because he knows, his wife knows the family. Ken, they're not very, are they financially stable, those 2 people?
I don't know, it's through Barb that we know. She's
Okay.
the one that knows them.
Yep.
I'd
Okay.
have to check with Barb and see.
Yep. Oh, that's right. Okay, you know Barb, that's right, the lady that was trying to get it. Yep.
He's already put a lot of work into this thing, if you look at this.
Yeah.
Like the sketch.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, it's my hobby.
That's what I said when Linda said.
Well, the other thing is we could get a hold of Chris too and find out whether or not he's serious about giving us materials.
Or something similar.
But I haven't heard back from him at all.
Oh, that's
I haven't
right,
heard back
yeah.
from him at all.
So what are we doing?
You start off thinking coming off the front door and a simple ramp. And then you start looking at everything and it's a lot more to it. It's about 28-inch drop, which means you need 28 feet of ramp. And in this case, we need to make a U-turn, so now you gotta build a platform.
Oh,
And then deal with this multi-level deck.
That's why it's going up all the time.
The cost isn't a concern. I'd love to work on it, but we just got a couple enough concerns about this that
I've never seen so many questions on a proposed project before. I mean, to step forward would be almost suicide.
Well, and I think that one of the basic things, aside from the money and the labor and all that, is this whole thing about the permit.
Yep.
I mean, that's a club decision.
And then liability, and, you know, when we
Yeah.
built, when we built a ramp for Ruth's dad, it was just, you know, family.
Right.
You know, our 2 brothers, 2 brother-in-laws showed up, and, Wood showed up, and people had a plan, and it's still sitting there 3 or 4 years later.
And if you know anybody that's working with the city of Mason right now, pretty difficult.
I take it we have to get a permit from the city of Mason to do this?
Well,
Or haven't you got an answer for that?
We've never gotten a permit to build the ramps. We either do it on the weekend
Yeah,
or we do it on the backside of the house so they never know we're doing it.
Yeah,
this is a little more in detail, right?
Well, and we're gonna beat this to death, I can tell you, but the last time I was president, I had 2 requests in the trailer park for ramps. I went down, looked them over, and then proceeded to see what had to be done. Well, first of all, we had to have an engineer. This is part of the trailer parks thing too, but you had to have an engineer come in and engineer tell you what you had to have, which we have an engineer, but then you had to go into the city and see what they were gonna do, and one person, one gentleman was in hospice. He didn't make it, so I canceled, didn't have to do anything with that one. And the next one, it was gonna have to be 3 tiers like that. And that was gonna be very expensive. And that's when I got with this reps for ramps.
Oh, there is a group.
And they were a real pain, so we didn't do either one of them. It was gonna be, the paperwork and the issues was going to be something else, but all the ramps that we have built, like I say, we've did it so that nobody's ever questioned us and come and ask us or anything. And one of them we actually did build on the front of a house on Columbia Street, so everybody drove by it. But normally, like I say, we try to get away with not doing that. So I'll make a motion that this be tabled at this time, and we can try and find if there is a place that rents the ramps, but with the way it's going to have to be put in, it's going to be just about as big a job putting in a portable one as it is building one. By the time you have to move that
It's a lot of work.
carport and all that, so like I say, I would table it, and I would make a motion to table it, and myself, I'll try and find if there's places that rent ramps.
Or get a hold of those guys that aren't answering.
The one thing, the lady that wrote the letter to you, I've spoken with her quite a few times, and Ken's wife knows her quite well. There was no promise made that we were going to be able
That's
to build this
When I
ramp.
talked to her, I called her because I had the letter for a while. When I talked to her, I said, we are looking into
Right.
doing this
Yep,
to see what has to be done.
and I've talked to her a couple
And
times.
And I have talked to her once,
Yep.
and I said the same thing, that
Yeah,
if you
so
if
she's
you if
aware
you
of
get a
that.
better offer, take it. That's what I said.
Yep.
Okay, do we have a second to Stan's motion?
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded, we table the ramp request until we find out further information. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion carried. Any report on the Leos?
Yes, if you drove down the street where our flowers are,
Yes,
you saw the pinwheels and signs for a second year. They really didn't need to buy anything, so the money that we got from the Lions group is still in the account. They might have bought some pinwheels, but I'm not aware of that, and they're dwindling down. They have had maybe 2 or 3 kids participate this year because everything is on Zoom.
oh, yeah.
Mrs. Hicks' daughter had her baby, so Mrs. Hicks is kind of taking care of the baby, and then her mother had a stroke, so she's taking care of her mother.
Oh.
And Mrs. McCray, the band instructor, has been stepping in. However, I couldn't get on Zoom last week, and they haven't gotten in contact with this week. I am wondering if we want to send something to Mrs. Hicks. Seems like this is her last year. She will be retiring in June. And hopefully the band instructor will take this on, or another teacher. It is a club, meaning the teacher does get some stipend from the school, which helps us continue on in future years. But Mrs. Hicks has done a great job, and I think we should recognize her.
So I think 2 things. One, a gift, but I think that we should get a plaque.
Oh,
There's a lot of Lions plaques that are available. We should find a very nice plaque and get it engraved for her. And then also look at some other gift type of thing. So I'd like to make a motion that we put at least up to $100 out of administrative funds towards that.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion?
I'll be glad to look at the plaque part, but I'm no good at gifts.
Yeah,
Well, I was thinking she
they all
likes
come from
flowers,
Lions International.
truthfully, gardening
Okay,
flowers.
well, a plaque and some flowers would be nice,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
I could get something from Horrocks as
Okay,
Get
all
that'd
right.
be great.
something like that says in appreciation of.
Sure, yeah,
veterans.
yeah.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. Thank you. So Doug, you're gonna look into
I'll get the plaque thing taken care of, I think.
Okay,
So you'll let me know and then we'll figure out the rest.
Sure.
okay, club officers. We gotta come up with some because this is due.
We did talk to Ken, and Ken is not going to be in line for president. He needs the belt, said he set that to bed.
So you're not gonna go up in the chairs? Okay,
Nothing,
nothing?
nothing, nothing.
Treasurer either?
Nope.
I object.
Yeah.
Who did you come up with?
I came up with nobody.
Oh,
I
that's great.
would be willing to
Except-
consider taking on treasurer if needed.
Who,
I don't want to, but
who was that?
I,
I?
indeed,
You?
if needed. I ain't thrilled about it,
Well, I know Doug's gonna do secretary. Dave, you still wanna be lion tamer?
Yeah.
Okay,
I can do that.
okay.
but Cindy, could you recycle as president?
Yes.
I've done it 3 times, so yes, I heard a yes.
Yes, Cindy?
Thank you.
Yes.
Atta girl, Cindy.
That's okay, this is my second time. Okay, now,
So when's it start?
July
Okay.
1st.
So that gets the main ones that we have to get on the PU 101.
We haven't got,
Anyone else for
you're gonna do
director, too?
treasurer, you said?
Yes,
Okay.
So am I also the director?
no,
Okay.
we'll have to look at somebody else for the director, but we don't have to get that.
What
You know, the
director?
key things that we've got to get out are president, secretary, and treasurer.
That's correct.
They're telling us now that we can do that online
Yeah,
Yeah.
or use the form, so I probably will want to do that online.
yeah, that's what I did.
And I'll see whether or not I can do it in stages too. I don't know.
You should be able to do it all right there online.
Yeah, they're trying to make it a little bit easier, I think.
Yeah.
They're not, but they're trying.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So-
we need to come up with a first and second vice president.
Mhm.
Let's work on
Membership chair, I don't know if Melinda wants to do that again. Lynn is tail twister.
Yeah, he'll do it again.
He'll do it again? Okay.
Thank you, Lynn.
Well, he said he would.
that. Yeah,
Now,
Was he
directors for second year, which means it's the second time they've done it, right?
Yes. That's
So
right.
they go off, which is Ken Matthews and Andy.
well, we recycled, well, for last year, we didn't make a change, so they've been on 3 years, and the people that were the 1 year have been on 2 years, because we didn't change directors.
Okay, well, we got eliminate Cindy from that one.
Yeah,
So, we need, 2-year
Stan's a
directors.
permanent director.
Yeah, I know. We need,
Who are the directors?
the second year directors, Ken Matthews and Andy, Terry's brother.
They're going off.
They're going off.
Who's still on?
You,
I'm one of them, okay.
you're on your first two, so you would probably move to 2 if you wanted to
Thank you.
do the next one. You wanna do 2, move you to 2,
Doesn't matter.
doesn't
That's
matter?
fine. One?
How do I write doesn't matter in here?
It's written as yes.
Okay, so we're gonna put you on second year?
Right.
Yes.
Okay, that's Jeff. And then we gotta get another And we gotta have one second year and two first year. Cause Cindy's coming off, Jeff's going up, so we need 2 first years. Who's confused?
I think I've got it pretty straight here.
You think you got it?
And I can go ahead and send it out to you and to everybody, actually, I guess, to see where we got the holes.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll work. At least we got the important ones.
We don't have any of our vice presidents, and we are missing a few directors, but I think almost everybody else is taken care of.
Yeah, the secretary, treasurer, and president.
Yeah.
That's it.
So, we need to vote on that. We've got the volunteers, we need to vote. I'm wondering if, Doug, if you can read off the slate of officers.
Well, this is what we have so far, and we can vote on what we have so far. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Okay. For president, Cindy. For treasurer, Rich. For secretary, Doug. For immediate past president, Lorraine. For administrator, still Rich.
Yeah.
Membership chair, probably Melinda, but I'm not sure. Tail twister, Lynn. Lion tamer, Dave. I don't know about Wayne. Directors in their second year, Jeff. And permanent director, Stan. And then the rest of them are all kind of up in the air yet, I think.
Question. Terry Glavish.
Terry's listed as the LCIF coordinator now, and he's the immediate past president. So
Right,
he will not be immediate past president.
right.
Whether he'll be LCIF coordinator or director or whatever, I don't know. We're gonna have to ask him.
I think he would do something.
I'm sure he would.
We gotta
yeah.
see how Deb's doing.
But let's go ahead and vote on who we got so far, and then we'll fill in the holes next meeting. How's that sound?
So, I move that we accept the slate as read by Doug.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we accept the slate of officers that's read by Lion Dog. Any further discussion? Losing my voice. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, thank you. Budget. How are we doing on budget? Has anybody started one? No?
I printed off what we reviewed. I printed off what we reviewed 2 years ago, I believe. I didn't make a whole bunch of copies, but I thought someone else might have
No, I
take the
didn't.
lead on the spot. I do have that list here, if we wanna go through it, or,
What is your pleasure?
What's the total amount?
in 2019 and 20, 2 years ago, the budget was set at, for donations, for Lions-related donations, was set at $31.45. And then the community donations didn't have a subtotal, but the total of the two came to $73.25. And you just said how much in the donation account? 49.
Well, and they were just saying that if they were short on the scholarships, they'd take it out of there. I mean, and you,
Yeah.
I don't know, nobody's gone over what they're gonna pay out for donations this year.
No, we haven't. We haven't meant to do that because I haven't had a budget.
No, well, that's part of the
And
budget.
I don't think all the ones we have on our list is expecting a whole lot, if anything, because of what has happened.
And what's gonna happen in the future, if we're gonna have Texas Hold'em, if we're gonna have football.
Again, our sources of income are kind of still up in the air.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And I think who we have on our list, I think they realize that. I know other organizations have mentioned that they're not going to get the response or the fundraising things that they're used to doing.
No.
So I think that's taken into consideration, and my opinion is we should support our Lions projects that are, that are state projects. And then check out the other ones that we donate to. They may not get a whole bunch, depends on what we've got.
Are there any that we have to give to? I mean, and when I say that,
Well-
I mean, we have to pay dues, is that right?
We have to pay our
Yeah.
That's
dues.
administrative though.
That's,
but
we're
we
talking
have to
about
pay that.
donations.
Yeah.
Right, but are
Doesn't
there
come out of
any
that.
that, it's not just the expectation, but the organization thinks you're gonna do it?
Let me put it this way, when I was governor, there were 3 clubs that did donate to no Lions functions, international other than their dues or state. And I asked them why, and they said, our money's hard earned and it goes back into the community, not supporting someone in another country. That's how they felt. Couldn't argue with them, but, and they've done remarkable things in their little community. They've raised thousands of dollars for doing things in their own community. So there are clubs that do not donate. If we donated to everything, there are 23 different committees. If you look at the roster book,
Yeah.
and we don't even have all of them, but, so some clubs don't donate anything, they pay their dues and all that, but, so some of the people we donate to now can't expect us to do that too.
If you want, I could run down just a list of who we were donating to up to 2 years ago.